So in a couple of years we will have contests for the industry, but the students will be able to learn how do you tell the difference between Chardonnay, Viognier, Pinot Blanc, etc. You have to have the vines there, watch their growth habits, and be able to taste the fruit to identify the differences.
So just looking at that, the shape of the leaves, the size of the grapes, and I suppose the popularity of certain varietals changes from time to time, so you can take something out and put something else in? Or?
Well, that's actually, you don't have to go that far, because vitis grafts to vitis, so we can also learn how to graft vines over in that block.
So once you have this vine planted, you can graft on whatever
you like. Oh. That's right, and that's what they've done here in the industry.
So that's another part of the course that they'll learn.
Absolutely.
Like that. Well, I think it would be fun to see this vineyard that is being put on. So maybe we'll listen to, or maybe you can tell us and describe what's going on as we look at these vineyards. This is the video. This is College Avenue, right across the street from the campus by the softball field. What's happening there, Mary Lark?
Well, we're installing our trellis system. And so we've been so fortunate that donors have stepped up to the plate and donated. You can see the line posts, the tall stakes, and then in between they're the training posts. What you see Ted doing there is he's pounding in a piece of rebar that is the training stake. What you see Joan doing there is clipping the wire to the stakes. So you need the wire so you can put up the drip hose so you can irrigate the vines. And so we're putting in, oh, here we go. This is Michael running the wire down the rows with his little ATV. So you stretch the wire down the rows, attach it to both end posts, make sure it's tight, then you clip the wire to the stakes, then we'll put the irrigation system in and test it, then we'll put the vines in.
Oh, and this is our sign on 101. I drive by that all the time.
Yes, this is in Los Alamos, and this is actually part of the Kendall Jackson Barham Ranch, and they were very generous to let us work in this 1.5 acre Chardonnay vineyard that's up front. The students do the training and the pruning. Now this vineyard is about 4 years old now. It's on its 4th leaf.
Oh.
When we entered into that partnership, the students wanted them to grow this vineyard organically. And the Kendall Jackson people didn't have any organic vineyards in their system, so they said, that's very interesting, that's a good idea. So they're farming that organically, and the students are comfortable with that. And you see, we've got all kinds of different training in this vineyard. This is all Chardonnay, but the students entered into different training and trellising options here. So there's 17 different ways that you can train a grapevine in that 1 acre. It's very
17 ways.
Yes.
Well, you said they've been in 4 years. They're bearing fruit. I mean, could you make wine from the grapes? How long does it take before it really is a productive vineyard?
In the Santa Maria Valley, it takes about 3 or 4 years because you wouldn't know it today, but it's a very cool region. In Paso, it takes about 2 years. So we're just coming into production on that vineyard.
So the difference is the temperature? And
Exactly.
Okay.
And so we have the ability to come on site. We meet with the manager. We talk about any special challenges that they may have, any special goals that they may have, and then we tailor our existing coursework into kind of a thematic unit that is aimed at that organization. And we come on site and we train the employees.
So it's customized.
It's customized.
You hear from them what they need and then develop it. That's a wonderful service that can be provided.
They get college credit for the class. At C&D Aerospace, we're there at 7 in the morning because that's the time that they think is convenient. We listened to some of the challenges that they had. We matched the instructor to and their expertise to the problems that they were having, and we went right on site. We had the classes, we held a graduation.
Well, maybe we should show them what it's like. We actually went inside C&D Aerospace to hear about this program, so let's turn to that tape.
C&D Aerospace builds aircraft interiors for jumbo jets and regional jets, and our division here in Santa Maria in particular specializes in regional jet interiors. That includes floor panels, ceilings, sidewalls, air conditioning dados, seats, galleys, lavatories, everything that goes on the inside of an airplane.
In the past, we have asked other staffers to come in and hold training based on their knowledge of the job and their expertise as supervisors. As a company, we felt that we needed outside training to help us. We then contracted with Allan Hancock. Allan Hancock provided managerial training to our first-time supervisors and managers. The training has provided our employees with tools essential towards developing their skills and managerial styles. It has been very beneficial to the company as a whole.
In my recent training with Allan Hancock, I've learned how to better manage the people I work with as far as listening to what they have to say, and as far as telling them where I'm coming from, where they're coming from, and staying focused on the real issue, which is getting the product out the door.
From my knowledge, I can apply to do much better than before I attend the course.
Our competitive edge has been increased because of their ability to supervise their personnel more effectively and increase our retention rate. Allan Hancock's partnership with C&D Aerospace has been very beneficial by the mere fact that Allan Hancock has been able to pull their college environment and put it into our manufacturing environment and provide a familiar atmosphere to our employees. The fact that the instructor is here with us, we can actually take the instructor and show them the problem, and then they can provide us feedback. It's been that particular aspect has been very beneficial to the off-site training.
The advice that I'd give to an aspiring student would be to learn as much as you can while you're there at school, because so much of that transfers over into what you do in the workplace. Get to know policies and procedures, and you get a good understanding of what it's like working with other individuals, especially as it pertains to the marketplace.
C&D Aerospace seems to be receiving the training they need. How long has that training been going on?
We've been working with C&D for about a year on their organizational goals and objectives. We're hoping to go back in. This initial training was for supervisory management. We have many, many other areas in terms of computer technology, executive leadership that we could also utilize.
Communication, team building always seem to be important in an organization. So what other kinds of opportunities are there for businesses if they want assistance from your business department?
Well, we'd like to hear from business and industry, and we'd like to know what special topics they would like taught on site. And so we will then take a look at the courses we have. We will customize them to their needs. If there's some additional topics that they would like, we can create coursework and curriculum that will help them meet their needs. So certainly we are very open to meeting and talking with the business leaders and customizing whatever program they might need. We have a great part-time faculty base as well as a full-time faculty base that have a broad array of expertise.
And they could be on-campus classes, or you can go to the business.
That's right. And it can be early in the morning, it can be in the afternoon, it can be late at night. You know, the days of the Monday, Wednesday, Friday class are probably over, and at least in the business department we teach when the sun rises and we stop when the sun sets.
But Toy Story, I think, was the big moment where you suddenly have a full feature that's all 3D.
Well, maybe we could look at some student art and you could talk about it, some student animation work, and that will help the audience to see what we're talking about here. So I think we'll cut
Always
to that
like
now.
to show pictures, and these first pictures are 2D animation, the drawing animation.
Okay.
And this is Scott McNichol. And what I like about this character of this horse, this shows that we have the kind of software that they use on Saturday mornings, and that you can really see how good the color is. But I like this character because he's wearing yellow underwear. I mean, that's a creative touch there. Don't try this at home. But this is the full color. This took him a long time to color all these cells in, and he did it on the computer rather than with paint. And this is what you don't try at home. But there seems to be a lot of violence in animation, and I tell my students to make nice things about bunnies, but that's not always the way it works out. This is a work by Julio Valdez is getting a job as we speak. Many people have been interested, and he's the master of the moving camera. Even though it's all done with drawing, it appears that the camera is moving all around these characters.
Those are just line drawings.
That's right.
Very simple.
This is a pencil test. Now, the first one we saw was a finished animation, but this is a pencil test, and it shows the kind of testing we do before you color something in. And it really is brilliant work. And Julio had the skills, although he has gone on to transfer, he had the skills, I believe, to just get a job straight from Hancock. So, yeah, this is very exciting work, and I like the idea of this guy just flying all around, and we're flying with him. It's enormously dynamic, and he's going to meet up in a second with his nemesis, the robot, again.
That's great. It's very impressive. I'm very professional, as I said before, and for a student to create one of those segments, how much time are we talking
Well, we're talking probably Julio's animation that you saw there is a pile of drawings about this high.
Oh my.
We always accused him of having elves or something that did them at night, but he was a very hard worker. So it's a lot of work. And it can be heartbreaking to talk to a student who spent years getting good at a computer, who finds out that he needs to be learning to draw, learning color, learning composition, even
all
taking
those design concepts. Really
right,
important.
design concepts, and taking an acting class, and because animators act through drawing, and taking the video production classes and learning about lighting, which is very important in 3D animation. And these are the things that don't change. Composition doesn't change, and color theory doesn't change over hundreds of years, but software changes all the time.
Exactly.
So we want people, besides taking animation courses, to take the figure drawing course, to take film production, to take design classes, and to really learn about the culture. If you look at the storytelling that goes on in something like The Simpsons, there's a lot of allusions to contemporary culture and politics, and often irreverent, but those writers and storytellers know about the culture they live in. They're not just narrowly focused on a computer program.
Exactly. Well, why don't we go now and look at some more art, video art, animation from your students, and if you describe it as we're looking at it, that would be great.
This is all 3D animation, and it's done at the Lompoc Center and the first thing we ask students to do is to make environments. And so what you're seeing here is first semester students, and you can see the difference right away between 3D and drawing animation. First semester students who are creating these environments, and it's really amazing what that they can come up with in their first semester as they begin to what we call model and surface things. I think many people in the audience might know what a wireframe looks like, a CAD drawing or something like that, and that's the way these start out. And then surfaces, which are created by painting or scanning or something like that, are added to this. And so this is the first project, and it takes about half the semester for them to really make a child's room, or to make a space station, or to make something, a temple.
So this is a real image. I mean, it's...
These are, well, it's a virtual